Hello, and welcome to our latest OnPoint review. I am CMoney, and I am joined by the always lovely Doodle.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so very much for rocking out with us today.
Now, today, we are reviewing Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game. Shout out to Ilphonic for going ahead and providing us with the code. If you don't know what this game is, it's based off of a movie that came out in 1988 that has grown to become a cult classic film. It's a game that captures the essence of the movie's unique blend of horror and comedy, delivering an experience that's both nostalgic and novel.
It does. The game absolutely captures the essence of the movie, and it was such an awesome 80s vibe. We saw the movie, and the game transports you right back to it. They capture so many elements and kept it so authentic. They really did a phenomenal job.
Absolutely agreed. Let's go ahead and jump right in to the graphics. So the game's graphics, it's a visual treat. I mean, it's a beautiful game. A significant part of that has to come from the real-time lighting that Ilphonics has added to the game. If you're a longtime Ilphonics fan, you've played a lot of their games, you know that they used to use pre-baked lighting solutions where now they utilize real-time lighting and it literally brings the world to life. The dynamic lighting system illuminates the environment naturally, casting realistic shadows and reflections that change as the action unfolds. The clowns are so spot on. The attention to detail that honestly fans of the movie will appreciate, from their crazy grotesque grins to their outlandish outfits, the environments, especially all of the iconic maps that they literally ripped out of the movie and brought to life in the game, just reimagined with the fidelity that enhances the game's immersive quality. It's like stepping into a high definition version of the movie. So many landmarks that you see in the movie that are replicated in the game to such a high degree. I literally remember, Doodle, when we were playing and we were in the suburbs and I saw Debbie's house. Like I saw the steps lead up. I was like, oh my God, it's Debbie's house.
You did.
Right? Like I felt so caught up in it. It was really an awesome
It
experience.
is. It's like an Easter egg hunt, kind of, right? You see
Facts.
these little elements or these stamps, right, from the movie, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is from the movie. You get that feeling for sure. So the graphics are beautiful. Let me start with the environment. They're all pulled straight from the movie, and they all share the atmosphere of suspense. I love the forest areas. They are absolutely stunning and populated with beautiful trees and plants. I felt conflicted, see money. This is so pretty, right? I want to see it, but the clowns are coming or I have some humans to kill depending on which side I was on. I loved walking through the cabins and houses, whether I walked in through the door or I busted in through a window. Some areas are completely beautiful and untouched, and others are absolutely destroyed by the killer clowns, filled with burnt down places and abandoned cars. And by the way, all the cars are like super authentic from the 80s, right? They went ahead, and these are obviously elements from the movies that the fans are just going to love. They have the clowns and they look amazing in the game. At times cool, at times kind of creepy, and sometimes just absolutely funny, but they were
Facts.
perfect. The humans look great also, and I love how they have some of the characters straight from the movie, like Mike and Debbie.
Yeah.
Yes, you heard me right. Mike and Debbie. They also have so much customizing for both the clowns and the humans. And see, money, you're absolutely correct. The lighting in the game is such a wow factor. It beautifully peeks through the trees and the houses as the sun is setting is it's
How did he
quite
know?
breathtaking. I also love it when it's like a
Oh, there
really
you are.
dark area and you look up at the sky and you see that beautiful moon, right? And it seems to be all the light left from the chaos that these clowns have caused.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And to be clear, when it comes to the customization and things like that, they definitely have some options. You got to unlock things as you progress and you play.
Absolutely, because it makes your experience unique, right?
Agreed, agreed, 100%. All right, let's move on to the story. So while the game doesn't really have like a traditional narrative, right? It does really take the spirit of the film and kind of puts you into it, right? Like you're essentially thrust into the shoes of either one of the clowns or the desperate humans, right? Each with your own objectives and survival strategies. The lore is rich. I mean, that's really where I feel the story is just being in these worlds and just seeing all the callbacks to the movie. You can really see. I mean, obviously having seen the movie is a big plus, right? If you saw the movie, you're gonna get a lot out of it, especially if you enjoyed it. But the game's story elements are a love letter to the film's fans. I mean, that's really what it is. It almost feels like even though you're not necessarily telling a new story, it does feel like it's an extension of the story, right? Almost like
Yes.
maybe what would have been happening in the in between times if there was more, some more breath to it, right? Like if there was more time in the movie to see all of the things that happened, right? Like this is what would for me
Yes,
would take
like
place
throughout, right?
for
I
sure.
agree. Like additions to it, which is great because I feel like, it would be really cool to see a remake of the movie, right? And I feel like
Agreed.
the game gives you a little taste of that. And you are absolutely right. These clowns are taking over and
They
killing
are.
any human they can find, and the humans are, trying to make their way out and escape. Again, we love the movie and it is absolutely, a classic, and the story and the elements align so well with it. They managed to stay so true to it, and you see like the police station, right? And the Big Top Burger spot, which it was so cool. The pots, the ice cream truck,
The
and you
world, the
yes.
makeout spot.
You get like the total vibe, right? And the essence. And there's so much more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, the movie's a cult classic, right? It's something that people, watched and loved, and I think that they did such a good job honoring the movie with this game. I
Agree.
think they nailed it, to be honest with you. I really do. Let's go ahead and move on to the audio. Now, the audio is it's a direct callback to the film's iconic score. I mean, I felt like I just heard the movie's score, the songs that are in there, the creepy tunes that are playing, right? It really just I feel like it's pulled right from the movies, and it really sets the tone for like any chaos that follows. Just is like set to the perfect soundtrack. Like it's almost meant to be for it. It's beautiful. The sound effects are a mix of whimsical and horrifying, staying true to the movie's landscapes. The clowns have honking noises, the
Yes.
squishes of cotton candy. I mean, listen, when you go ahead and you're playing as a human and you hear the squeak of the shoes of a
Oh my
clown
gosh,
coming,
yes.
it's like, oh snap. You know what I'm saying? Like
Time
it's
to run. In which
time to
direction is
run.
it coming from?
Yeah, it really is wild. I mean, there's nothing really that quite captures that moment when you're sneaking around and you think you're safe and you're scavenging for things, and then all of a sudden you just hear that squeak that
Yes.
those footsteps coming. They nailed it. They nailed it. I
They
loved it.
did.
It was intense when you would hear that.
Yes, see, and let me tell you a little secret. I'm not afraid of clowns. I've never been. Some people are afraid of clowns, but to
Yeah.
me, I was like, why am I not? Because every time they creeped up on me, I'm out here screaming, and terrified, right?
Absolutely.
But
Also,
yes, go ahead.
well, also the weapons, they were really good with the sounds. Like each weapon has a signature sound that you know. So if
Yes.
you're a human and you are hiding somewhere and you could just hear the clown shooting somebody else somewhere, and you're like, okay, I know what type of gun they have.
It's going down
I
over
gotta be
there.
ready. They got that thing that shoots the balls, and you're like, oh no, I gotta be dipping and dodging when I'm running away from them, right?
Yes. Normally, I would know that something's going on over there because C-Money would be screaming for me, and I'll be like, "Yes, sure, I'll be right there," as I'm running in the other
Yeah,
direction.
that was a
Um,
constant thing for me, I feel. It's like, all right, I'll wait here. Doodle's coming to get me. Nowhere to be found.
well, listen, emotionally, I was there with you. Okay. And I think that's
Emotions.
what matters. The audio, you're absolutely right. It fills you up with anticipation. That's what it is. And the music is full of suspense and at times, tied together with the grunts from the clowns and, the sound of the cotton candy weapon and the squeaking, as you said, of their shoes, the screams from the humans. We have one heck of a combo over there.
Seriously.
So
Seriously.
every detail was there though, like you felt it. And even when the humans are in the cotton candy pods, you hear their, suffocating
Yeah.
sounds, which adds to the urgency of
It's like, oh
trying to
no.
save them. Yeah. It's definitely a unique experience that until you're caught up in there, you may not understand how caught up you can get.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the gameplay. Now, this here is where I feel Ilphonic has really taken what they've learned from their previous asymmetrical multiplayer games and really just upped the ante. I feel like the gameplay is really fluid. The controls are responsive. I mean, I never felt frustrated by it. If I was not hitting, my target, I feel, if I was a clown and I was just missing, it's because I was missing,
Yes.
like I needed to get better on the aim, or I had to follow them better because they were dipping and dodging. I just think that they handle it really well. And again, when you think about the two sides of it, you're either, a clown or you're one of the humans, and your game is wildly different depending on which side you're on. So if you're a human, you're trying to escape, and you can find different routes and objectives to do so. You have to go finding, different spark plugs or gas or key card, right? And you have to like find the items so that you can go ahead and escape. And
Yes.
it's not easy to just find them. Like you have to be looking around. You got to keep quiet because like as soon as the clowns find you, it changes everything, right? And it changes the game because now you're going from let me go find something to let me go survive, right? Which
Yes,
is
and
it's a huge thing.
you're right, and I do love the fact that the idea of it may sound simple, but they added so much intricacy in there for you to feel like, okay, this is do or die. I have to figure out how to survive and get out of here, or I have to go ahead and find these humans, which it sounds simpler than it is.
But 100%, especially as a human, all those parts and pieces, they're not just in the same place every time you play the game.
Exactly.
So it's not like you could just play the game and be like, all right, I know I go here, 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 and we're done. No, everything is randomized. So the parts that you need, they're in different places. The actual escape routes in places, they're also in different places.
Yes.
So it's like you're really in a situation where you can't, it's not like just a memory game where it's like, all right, I've been playing this game for a long time. I know exactly where this stuff is. You're screwed. It's like, no, we're all in the same boat every single time
Every
because
time.
you have to find out where it is. Now they do have, a start of the match where you go and you get to this meeting area where if you go there, you do have the ability to see where the things are.
Mhm.
And that not the things, the escape routes, right? Like
Yes.
the places to go to finish it. You still don't know where the actual parts and pieces are, that you still have to find.
And that's the thing, that urgency that of like, okay, let me go and search and let me see what things I want to keep with me, what weapons I want to keep to go ahead and fight these
Yes, because you only have so
clowns,
many
right?
slots. Yes.
Exactly. So at that moment, there are decisions to be made, right?
Agreed. Agreed. Now, to be clear, like you just kind of mentioned it, and we had spoken about it being like, creeping around and being quiet.
All
But
right.
understand, like, this is a big departure from other games of this type because for
Yes,
me,
absolutely.
when I play those other games, I'm creeping and crawling. Like I don't want to be seen because I'm gonna die. And don't get me wrong, I'm not out here saying, "Hey, killer clowns, come get me." But you find a wrench, you find a knife, you find a shotgun, you can take the battle to these clowns, especially
Absolutely.
if you group up, right? Like there's 7 of you and 3 of them,
Hi.
right? So if you run in
I
packs,
hope
you
we
know what I'm
can be
saying?
friends.
Typically, you'll be able to outnumber
What's
them
up?
and you
Well,
can kill.
unless they come together
Come
and
here,
group
Alex.
Well,
up
that's the other
together,
part of
that's
their
a whole
strategy
other, yes,
for sure.
that's a whole other thing. I will mention though that the humans are, a little more agile. Like you can hop
Yes.
out a window, right, nice and seamlessly, and where the clown will have to go ahead and take that door exit,
Yep.
right?
Yes,
So
indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, they really made being a human, you know, really fun because again, it's not just you're not just playing from a position of weakness, right? You do have some strength that you can
yes,
exert on the clowns, and the little lackeys or the little mini
yes.
clowns that walk around. If you're a human, they are. If you're not paying attention, they'll run and grab you.
Oh, they will. They're
But if you
feisty.
but if you see them, you slap them up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
You got a weapon, you hit them, boom, kill them. Is a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
absolutely.
But then again, obviously you flip the coin and now you're at the other end of it where you're a clown, right? You're one of the killer clowns. There's a few different types, different sizes, different, some different ratings on them. So some are faster, slower, stronger,
Yes,
have more
different
health,
perks.
things like that. They have the popcorn gun from the movie, right? So, you can shoot them and it causes damage, but they run away and it's like leaving the popcorn trail like the movie, which is a dope callback. Basically all the guns from the movie are in the game. Um, and it's really dope. They did a great job with it. It's really fun to play it. I do love the fact that you could like super jump to any part of the map that you've been to or
Yes.
that another clown has been to. So if you're on one side and you see them escaping on the other side or something like that, you could just super jump over there and cause ruckus. You can't abuse it; it's on a timer, but you could still do that, which is very
Well,
cool.
that's what balances it out, right?
Exactly.
That's the balance.
Exactly. So it's really fun when you're beating the clowns because, yeah, you're going to go ahead and look for the humans so you can harvest them. But at the same time, they have, cocoons that are already around, which these cocoons, again, throwback to the movie, uh, you have cocoons that you can find and you take them back to the machines, which again are like the same machines that are in the movie, which is pretty dope. And you hang them on there. And as you do that, that is what gets your little lackeys coming out, right? So the
Yes.
small clowns come out, and the more that you hang on any given station, you can hang up to 4. You level up the station, and you can get more lackeys coming out of there, and just makes it more difficult for humans to hide, and to wander around and be sneaky
Yeah, they're
because the
pretty
lackeys
good.
are
They're pretty good
traveling.
at chasing the humans around, I would
Yeah, and
say.
if they grab them, you get that, as a clown, you can see that something's happening. You're like, "Oh snap, let me
Alert,
go." And you
alert.
could jump over there or at least run over there, right?
For sure.
So, it's definitely super fun. I really, really enjoy being a clown as well. We had some talks about which one that we think was more fun. For me, it's just a toss up. I enjoy whichever side I get on. It's really a fun time.
I do too, because it feels completely different. I love the searching around, like I said before, and those aspects of being a human, right? And then the clown, well, let me just tell you, all right, they're a little more reckless. So when it comes to the gameplay, I love that the game has a lot of achievements to unlock, see money, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
different achievements for the clowns versus the humans. So I love how much they put into that. Also, creeping through the levels as a human, collecting resources to defend yourself from the clowns and to escape um, could be more challenging than you think. There are so many weapons, but nothing more empowering than when you find a shotgun or a pistol to
Mhm.
really give the clowns a piece of your mind. Or maybe an axe or a knife are more of your style.
Yeah, well, especially since, as a human, you can knock them down, but they just get dizzy, right? Like you just
Yes.
basically just stalling them for a little while. But if you have a sharp knife, an axe, even the pistol or a shotgun, if you just like the movie, if you hit them on the nose
Aim
with
for the
something
nose.
sharp or the gun, or the firearm, they're gone. And they gotta wait for like 45 seconds before they can respawn, which gives you a lot of time to make some escape moves. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. But no matter the weapon of choice, you are sure to feel the shivers when a clown pops up unexpectedly, and then you go right into survival mode. And that's when, things get interesting, to say the least.
Pause.
As a clown, I got to get out there and act recklessly foolish. Although some of these humans were extremely strong willed, having power ups like my crafted balloon sniffing dog, right, to track the
Which
human
is from the
scent
movie.
was freaking awesome.
Let's go ahead and move over to fun factor. Now, I don't know if you've heard it in our voices as we're talking about it, but I had a blast. I really enjoy playing this game. Whether you're a human and you just get out for the split second that you could turn a corner or something and evade becoming a cotton candy cocoon, right? Or if you're a clown and you're chasing somebody and you finally get them cornered because they made a wrong turn and it's like, haha, you're mine now, right? Like this is all stuff that is just so much fun to do. And again, when you add the fact that you're doing this all in these worlds that were created based off the movie where you get to kind of live in them for a little bit, it's so cool. Like I said, when you playing and you're seeing the burger spot, the Big Top Burger, right? When you're seeing the Debbie's house and her stairs, when you see the police station and you go in there and you see that they literally recreated it beat for beat, and you got the cell in the back where everything crazy went. When you see those footsteps that they have planted throughout the world, they did so many callbacks to the movie. They did so good. I really, really am so glad that they made this game. I think that this is the perfect type of game for this IP. I think Killer Clowns is perfectly suited for this. And I think this is one of those situations where the IP really does help boost the excitement for the game because it just all fits and gels so well together. I had a blast.
I agree with you. I had the best time playing this game, whether I was playing online or private matches, as a clown or human. The excitement was there through every match. It was fun, fun, fun. And I feel like everyone out there is going to have a great time with it as well.
I agree. Now, before we get to our scores, I do want to go ahead and just make a few comments that I feel are not a big enough deal to really impact my score, but something that would be great if they would change it at some point in the future. And to be clear, they have a lot of plans for post launch. So there's a lot of updates that they're going to do, different plans. They're going to be announcing them shortly. But one of the things that I think that I would really like them to do is make it so that you can change your characters or weapons in between matches. Once you're in that lobby and you're in the, online matchmaking, you're in there and you're basically just stuck with whatever character you made active and whatever weapons you have attached to that character. So if you decide, what, I want to switch it up, I want to change my gun, you would literally have to leave the matchmaking, go change your gun, get back in the matchmaking. And if you had a fun group of people you were playing with, you kind of lose out on that. So that's something that I for sure would like to see them, implement.
For me, I would have loved to have seen, and I agree with what you said, but I would have loved to have seen as well, like an intro, right? To kind of, for those that maybe have not seen the movie, to kind of just have an idea of like why this is happening, right?
Yeah. Yeah, give a little context. Plus, maybe a more deeper dive into a tutorial. I would say like maybe like a
Yes,
playable tutorial instead of
absolutely.
like a reading one, like
And then get
just
in
show us
there. Yes.
scenarios, like set us up to escape on a boat. So like put, say go look over here, like make it easy where they are and just have us go find it and then have us go do the boat or same thing with the other stuff just to kind of give
I
you
agree, to get a
that
feel of the
practice.
game, right? And
Yeah.
yes, I agree with that.
Okay, and with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and do our scores. Now, you guys already know the way we do our scores is simple. I give my score, Doodle gives her score. We don't know what each other is scoring this game. And then once we have both scores, we take the average between the two, and that becomes the official on point review score. That being said, again, guys, you heard me in the fun factor and you heard me throughout. If you couldn't tell, just talking about the game, I'm smiling, I'm laughing. It's such a good game. They did such a great job with it. When you're playing with people that, are chatting in there, or if you're doing like me and Doodle did and we played together going into matchmaking. So we were having a ton of fun, and then whoever was in there, we were having fun with them. Like it's just such a dope game. I really enjoy the gameplay aspect of it, like how they did it. They really, I feel, finessed their craft with this one. It's very smooth to play. I don't have any, controller issues. I didn't run
Oh my
into
gosh.
any bugs personally that I can even remember. So overall,
Right? That's what it feels like.
really, really enjoyed the game. My
And
score
yes, I was gonna
is
say they
going to
stick
be
together.
a 9 out of 10.
I had a fantastic time. This game was so well made. And I appreciate that. I appreciate how much fun every time you get in there you have. And every experience feels
Moving on there. Let's
unique,
go.
right? All the levels are from the movie, just taken right out of it, but enhanced into still 80s, but such a modern vibe to it. Um, I think that they did a phenomenal job. And my score, CMoney, is a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Well, it is unanimous. Our official on point review score for Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game, is a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us and checking out our review. We really appreciate it. If you like this, please go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you thought we did a really good job, go ahead and ring that bell. That's right. Set the notifications up so you know when we go live. We don't only do reviews, we do 4 to 5 live shows a week. So definitely come check us out and come back for our next On Point review. Also, make sure to let us know how you feel about our review, and if you got your hands on the game, what would you score it in the comments below. That's going to do it for us here. We're going to end the show the way we end every single show. Doodle,
Yes,
we're done.
we are.
Until next time,
Wait, yes. You're intruding.
you're intruding.